$3,000 is what you'll need to start Amazon FBA. Yeah, you can get by with $1,500. I'll show you exactly how to do that. But if you're in that $3,500 to $5,000 mark, then you're in the perfect lane to start this business. I know because I started Amazon FBA with just a little over $4,000 to my name at 17 years old. And in my first 90 days in business, I did over $42,000 in sales. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where every single dollar goes and what you don't have to spend a single penny on. There's two common lies that you'll hear. The first lie is you need $10,000. That doesn't apply. That's for private label. The reason why is first, you need to create the listing, do copywriting, have someone write up the listing, take photos. That's a lot of work. Then you have to run ads for the product. You don't even know if you're going to be able to sell. You have to buy the product from bulk from China, buy $4, $5, $10,000 worth of inventory at once. That's a lot. And you have to have the product shipped. That takes time. That costs a lot of money, and it's just a long process. But in my case, I buy a case for $56, sell it, and I collect $32 in profit. The second lie you'll hear is you can start with $500. Now, the reason $500 isn't enough is because all alone, the softwares to run this business cost $110 a month. $110 a month for the softwares. I'll get into that in the next slide. A $70 label printer plus another $100 to $200 in supplies. That only leaves you with about $150 to $200 for inventory. Almost all of your capital is gone before any real inventory is actually purchased. The third thing is the stack of softwares that we need. First thing you need is Amazon Seller Central Professional account. That's $40 a month. It bills directly out of your Amazon account. The second thing you'll need is SellerAmp. That's our profit calculator, helps us find products, all that stuff. That costs me $30 a month. And Keepa, that's $20 a month. That's how I can look at the analytics of my products and all of that stuff. Fourth, final software I use is Sellerboard that helps me keep track of all the accounting of my business and understand my real numbers. All in about $110 a month plus the $70 printer. That's one time. Next thing we have is the Loop. First, you have your cash. That's your money that's ready to spend on inventory. After that, you buy inventory, prep it, or send it out to the Amazon warehouse, which might take 2 to 3 weeks to check in, and then until it's finally listed available to sell. Then say once you sell your product, it takes 2 weeks from the point of Amazon selling your product. The reason why is Amazon got to make sure that the customer doesn't have any complaints, any returns, any of that. The actual number is 7 days after delivery. So Amazon pays you out 2-week payout. Payout comes and you just repeat the cycle. $1,000 to $1,500 keeps the cycle spinning. Now, here's the reason why $500 dies in this business. Week 1, you spend $300 on inventory. It sells and you're waiting weeks 3 to 4 on payout and you're left with $0 to spend on inventory. All of your momentum is dead and the small gets blamed. So at $1,500 is the minimum to keep the loop from never stopping. Here are the things that you don't need to start this business model. Common misconception is that you need an LLC to start this business, which is simply not true. Mine came after my first $10,000 in revenue, which was over a month and a half after I started the business. You don't need the business to get started. You just need it later on. Next thing, you don't need a warehouse. A warehouse is very, very expensive, about $1 to $1.50 per square foot. So an average warehouse is costing like $4,000 a month. That is a large chunk of your profit going away. I started Amazon FBA out of my bedroom up until I hit my first $21,000 a month. And then from there on, I went to my living room. I did not actually get into a facility till I hit $40,000. And from then on, I've only been on a storage unit that cost me about $300 to $400 a month. Next thing you don't need to run any ads. All the products we're selling are already products with a market behind them. All we're doing is finding the products from profitable price and flipping them on Amazon. So you don't got to do any of that. That's why I love this business model so much. And the last thing you don't need is you don't need $10,000 in inventory. As I said, it's online arbitrage. We're doing test orders. So first product we find, maybe we'll spend $300, $400 on it, send it out, come back. If we buy deeper on inventory, maybe we might go spend $1,000, $2,000 on inventory, but that's about it. You don't need to spend $10,000 on inventory unless you know those $10,000 of inventory is going to sell. Now, day one, I started with $4,500 at 17 years old. $2,500 went to a mentor, $2,000 was ready for my inventory, and $180 was for tools. The $2,500 on the mentorship kept the $2,000 alive and saved me from making any critical mistakes. The biggest things is I was still working at Target when I started this business. So I was still getting paid about $17 an hour, which equated to about $1,000, $1,200 a month. For the 2 months I was still working at Target while working the business, I was able to reinvest $800 a month, plus all the profits that I made during those first 2 months. My first 90 days in business. In my first 2 weeks in business, I did over $3,500 in sales, which is $800 in profit. All of that was reinvested, by the way. And in weeks 3 and 4, the second 2 weeks in business, it was parked. I was moving nothing. I was making no money, nothing. The reason why is those first 2 weeks, I was doing retail arbitrage. I found one product. I bought 130 units, sold it for about 26 each and about an $8 profit per. I wasn't able to find consistent replenishable inventory. During those 2 weeks, I switched to online arbitrage and I found new products. And my second month, I did $13,000. All of the stuff I was selling was super high ticket. My tickets were $100 to $500 per unit at an 80 to 90% return on investment. But my money was able to profit super fast and consistently. And by month 3, I was able to do a $21,000 month. All in collectively, my first 90 days in business, I did $42,000 in revenue. The link to the video breaking down my first 90 days in business is in the description down below. Now let's move on to next. What $3,000 actually buys? So tools, $180, supplies, $150. That leaves you with a budget of $2,650 left for inventory. That can buy you about 15 to 20 positions to test different products on. Spend like maybe $100 to $200 on each test order. Having this allows you to have a mistake buffer from day one. The 3 lanes. If you're under $1,500 yet, I wouldn't start yet. I keep stacking to at least around $2,000 to $3,000. Until then, keep learning from free, keep watching more YouTube videos, subscribe for more, all that stuff. If you're around that $1,500 to $3,000 mark, this is where you're probably still working your job, stacking money, and reinvesting all the profits that your Amazon business makes. I quit my job at Target when I had my first $5,000 in profit. If you're around that $3,000 to $5,000 mark, then you are in full speed, perfect position to start this business. It gives you room to get guidance. You can get all your inventory. You can make mistakes and still be good and stay in the business. If you're stuck at $10,000 a month, your ceiling is cash in the loop, not your products. A full video is also in the description down below. Here's the next part, credit, the float. Day 1, you buy the inventory. Day 30 is when your statement date closes. So day 35 is around when your payment lands, assuming you bought the inventory and sold it. Day 50 is when the bill is due. Credit extends your flow. It does not replace your floor. Pay in full every cycle. If you want a full video on that, comment down below and I'll get that going. Last thing, and it's the most important thing. The number one killer of new sellers isn't a lack of money, it's money management. Cash stuck in inventory while the payout drips. Budget gets you in the game while cash flow keeps you in it. So 2 doors. Door number 1, you're under $1,500. Do not apply to work with me. I'm telling you, don't. Grab the free 13 rule checklist down below, watch the channel, keep stacking, and come back funded. I'll be here. Door number 2, you're at $2,000 plus and you're serious about getting started. The application's in the description down below. I take 5 people hands-on, one-on-one. That's a real cap. You get the exact roadmap I use to hit my first $10,000 month. If you're at $3,000 and you took notes through this whole video, you're exactly who I built this for. Either door, comment your starting number down below. I read every single one and I'll tell you which lane you're in. Ungating next. Subscribe for more.